Hello YouTube, Ranger Voz back again, and this time we're going for probably the most mismatched name for a Transformer I've ever seen. This is Armada Smokescreen. You'll notice that no, this is not a sports car like just about every other Smokescreen that's ever existed in the franchise was. This is a crane, kind of like Grapple, who they couldn't use because of copyright reasons for some reason. I don't know. So we got Smokescreen the crane instead. Well, if you insist, Hasbro. So, looking at him, he's very orange. It's not a bad orange, I suppose. It's not really eye-searingly, but it's orange. Construction crane orange, I guess, but you know, Naruto would be pleased. The rest of the paint, aside from the obvious orange, is pretty good. There's no real blemishes, there's no faults, there's nothing on there that I could really say is a deal breaker. It does have a couple of nice bits of detail on it, I have to admit. There is a ladder molded here going up to this hatch. I've never seen a construction crane with a hatch on it. It's more of a tank thing, but Armada was supposed to take place in the future, I suppose, so anyway, this hatch actually does open. You can't put anything in there, but it does actually open, which is kind of cool. It's a nice little bit of detail. Another little bit of detail is in the back here with this winch. It can extend, and it is supposed to be able to hook into a mini-con, which is the gimmick part of Armada, and tow them along. You can roll Smokescreen along, and the winch does retract, which is cool. Not very useful, I don't think, but, you know, cool little thing nonetheless. Now, there is a part of this that I'm not going to show you just yet. That would be the Minicon related gimmick in the crane arm here. But we need a Minicon for that. So let's just sort of swing around here. This is Liftor, Smokescreen's Minicon partner. As you can see, he is very small. He is very, very small. He is also very easy to transform. You wouldn't expect anything too difficult from something like this for transformation, and it is a very straightforward transformation. It's just a lot of unfolding and untwisting, and there you have Liftor. There's no real paint applications on him. He's just, the plastic is molded in certain colors: orange, blue, grey, black, and that's it. He does have eyes painted on his face. One is larger than the other. That was a thing with some of the Minicons, if I remember from the cartoon correctly. But, you know, he's not supposed to be an action figure by himself. He's supposed to be used alongside Smokescreen. So, this isn't a horrible little toy, if you take that into account. He's got all the standard little articulation points. Arms, legs, knees. So you can pose him if you need to. But he's actually probably more poseable than Smokescreen. I'll get to that in a minute. But other than that, he's just, yeah, cute. But we're not going to need him as a robot any longer, so a quick snap of my fingers, and Smokescreen's back. We're just going to go straight on to his transformation. There are a couple of things in here that are kind of interesting, and some that are kind of boring. These two platforms on the side here are what basically stop the whole thing from moving whilst in crane mode. Once those are moved, you can pretty much separate what will be his arms from what is his legs, and close the hip up there. Now, these legs have an interesting way of clipping them together. You'll see there is an orange tab here. What this is that you have to twist it like that to separate, because it has one of these here with the larger end on it, and that is supposed to slot in here, and then this tab, the peg on the back of this tab here, slots into this bit here. It's not something I've seen on a toy before, and it's kind of clever, I suppose, but it does make the transformation tricky sometimes. Now the arms are very simple, they just come around here and drop down, and that's really all there is to those. And then your crane arm swings around here to reveal the face. Now, the crane arm and the face don't always match up. You will need to do some moving around before you can get it into some semblance of okay. The head does move by itself. You don't need to move the crane to move it. So if you just want to leave the crane there and move the head, that's fine. But that's about all the posability you get out of the head. The crane can go up and down, but it's a single movement, and it can be kind of stiff sometimes. Arms and legs have basically this and this, and that's about it. It doesn't have much posability at all. Like I said, Liftor's probably more posable than Smokescreen, which is kind of impressive considering that Liftor is like, I don't know, what, half his size. Speaking of Liftor, I've mentioned a couple of times that there is a gimmick that the mini-cons are used for. And have a look under Liftor here. You'll see a plug. Now, this plug allows Liftor to slot onto this peg. Now, you can see a little blue button basically on the inside there, and the peg, the little peg on the inside of the plug on Liftor presses that little blue button inside the peg on Smokescreen and allows you to use his Minicon gimmick. What is this gimmick? Well, he lengthens out like that. And no, that's not it, but it's the beginning of something that I really don't understand about this toy. Now, once you have that sorted, you can then flip this out, and you have a buster cannon. There's nothing else I can really say about it. It is just this massive, and he can't, oh, he can't stand with it. That's the first time I've got him to stand with that thing extended. That is him. Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's not so bad after all. I have tried to get him to stand like that numerous times, and he has dead set refused. So, that's good. That's a new plus. So, there is a firing missile. I can't believe he stands up. There's a firing missile inside here, and it has some range. You could probably knock down a Vanguard fighter. But I don't get why. That thing is 24.5 centimeters or 9.25 inches long. I don't understand why they felt the need to give him a shoulder cannon that long. I mean, that is his only weapon. That is it. That's as much hardware as he comes with. He does have a second Minicon port on his arm, on his right arm, so you can clip another Minicon in here. This doesn't do anything. It's just there so that he now has a weapon, be it, you know, a pair of claws, or if the Minicon happens to be a tank, or the Skyboom shield, or the Requiem blaster, they can connect there. But other than that, he can't hold anything in his hands. His posability is incredibly limited, to the point where the small figure actually has better posability than he does. The Minicon cannon is just absurd, and you will have problems getting him to stand up once it's extended. I may have done it this time, but usually he falls over. Other than that, you know, again, this seems to be something I'm running into. He looks good. A bit blockish when he's transformed, but his vehicle mode looks good. The colouring isn't too bad, but his playability is severely restricted by his lack of posability and that massive cannon that makes him hard to stand up. Other than that, maybe he's not as bad as I originally thought he was. I had it all set out to rag on this in this section, but maybe he's not so bad. Maybe I can forgive him. I will definitely be picking up some more Armada toys though, because I don't mind the gimmick, and everyone comes with their own different one. As they show up on eBay or at secondhand stores or whatever, I will pick them up. I will do more. Until then, this is Ranger of Oz. I will catch you all next time. I have some things to set up. I got a couple of things at Supernova, and I think you're going to enjoy them. I know I did. Until then, I will catch you all next week. See ya.